Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video this afternoon I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So there is quite a lot to negotiate on this current video. So the question is, what transfers, should Manchester United make in this January window? As you are all aware, there is a lot of players on our agenda, and Solskjaer of course has, recently, scheduled a lot of meetings with our head recruitment, regarding the transfers, and it actually, came out yesterday, because he actually, give us an update regarding the transfers during his press conference building up to the game today against Wolves, and he said he was set to have negotiations with Manchester United, on, bidding a striker in, and also bringing a midfielder in, and also, to negotiate the departure of Paul Pogba, because I think it's actually, now very imminent that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving the football club. If it isn't this month, I think, it will be in the summer and that. So like I've said to you, the two main priority areas where Manchester United need to strengthen up, where we do need to strengthen up in that midfield, because, I've got a lot of element of concerns about that midfield, and, obviously we look very exposed now in that attacking midfield, obviously, reflecting on the injuries of McTominay and Paul Pogba. So the only options now we've really got in that midfield is Fred, Matic, Pereira. I think, Fossil Mensah, could be in line to fulfil that midfield role, because he's also, closer to returning from injury. And we also, need to recruit a replacement for Ander Herrera, because he left the club last summer. And we also, need at least one striker, but we definitely need to recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, because you can say, since their departures, we've looked very exposed in that attacking line and that. So we need someone to come in who can assure us goals, someone, of course, who can create chances and that. So yeah, that's definitely, one of the areas where we do need to strengthen up. But yeah, and Solskjaer is going to get unlimited funds. Like I said, I think we're going to spend from between 250 to 300 million pounds on recruiting new players in, this over the course of this month, and, in the summer. It isn't guaranteed that we'll make many signings in this January transfer window, but I think Solskjaer wants to bring at least two players into the football club. But take into account, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because obviously, analysing the vast majority of this team, it isn't, Solskjaer's. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's and that. And, Solskjaer did recommend three players in the summer, and we spent nearly £150 million and that. So obviously, as you all know, that, Erling Halland was our number one priority target and that. And at one point, it was looking very imminent that Man United were going to sign him in this January transfer window. So it was looking likely it was going to be our fourth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and our first signing, of course, this month and that. And I'm disappointed, that Man United missed out on him, because I think, it would have been the right calibre player for the football club. Plus, it would have been very beneficial, because obviously, he's played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance during his period with Mould. So Solskjaer, of course, was keen on a reunion with the player. And plus, he would have been a very cheap solution, because his current buyout clause was around, 17 or 18 million pounds. But as you all know, Erling Haaland has joined Borussia Dortmund for just 17 million pounds, is it? And he signed a 4.5 year contract with them. I'm actually, very surprised that he went to Borussia Dortmund. He got officially announced yesterday that, he was confirmed as a Borussia Dortmund player. So Solskjaer, I think, for me, his overarching view, will be disappointed that we missed out on him. So obviously now I think he's got a few alternatives, for us missing out on Erling Haaland. So one name that's just been mentioned, and that's Raul Jimenez from Wolves. And reportedly, Termo Werner is another player on our agenda. Now, Raul Jimenez is actually, a very, very good player. I think, he blends in very, very well alongside Jota in, Wolves' team and that. They're blending very, very well together. He can score goals. He's a prolific goal scorer. He's a major 28. He's Raul Jimenez. Obviously, he hasn't been at Wolves for that long. Obviously, he began his career with the American youth system. Then he went on to Atletico Madrid. Then he went on to Benfica. Then he had a loan spell with Wolves, of course. But obviously, reflects on his good performances. Wolves had made the deal permanent and that. So he's one striker on our agenda. So do you think he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United? As you all know, there has been a lot as well. There was speculation not too long ago about Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton. Now, he's been another player on our agenda in that. And he's well Premier League proven, of course. He's been at Everton for a number of years. I think now he's into his fourth season with Everton. But I'm very sceptical, that Man United will get Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because he's just recently come out and said it's a privilege playing under Carlo Ancelotti's guidance, because he's been in scintillating form, especially since Carlo Ancelotti got recommended in. I think he scored 3 goals in his last 2 games. He is rated at around £50 million, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So maybe like Raul Jimenez, maybe would be a cheaper solution. Obviously we know that Erling Halland would have been a much cheaper solution. But are we determined to pay £50 million for him? But either way, I can't see Everton willing to offload him, because I think Everton know from their perception how much of an imperative player he is. I think it said from Sky Sports not too long ago that Everton, were in negotiations of getting him a new contract with them. I think they were in talks of getting him a new 5-year contract, reflecting on his good run of performances. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is still under contract of Everton until 2023, because I think he initially did sign a 5-year deal, was it back in May 2017. He's only at the age of 22. Of course, Solskjaer is keen on recruiting young players into the football club, like he did do during the course of the summer. I've got to say, in that aspect, though, he does replicate Alex Ferguson, because Alex Ferguson did, develop a lot of young players in that. So I think what we do is, our culture is, to create big players, not actually, sign big players. But there again, we should consider, being sensible with our recruitment, because, we've overpaid for players, especially now in recent years. Paid £50 million for Fred, £89 million for Pogba, £80 million for Harry Maguire and that. But, we overpay for players. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think would be the right calibre player for the football club. Like I said, in total for Everton, he has made 97 appearances just in the Premier League. So the vast majority of his appearances have come in the Premier League, and I think he's made over 100-odd appearances in all competitions. Everton got him for next to no as well. They only paid around £1.5 million from Sheffield United. Where he actually began his career in that. I think he was in their youth system for quite a while. And then also had loan spells with Stalybridge Celtic. He also had a loan spell with Northampton. But I can't see Man United getting Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But like I said, it's very imperative this year that we do recruit the right players in. We've got to get the right players in who can elevate Manchester United forward and get us back, to being a competitively level football club, and get us back up there, challenging for major honours. But I think, we need at least 5 to 6 more signings. If we are to be back to being a competitively level football club. We don't only need to focus on the incomings. I think we also need to focus more on the outgoings this year, because I still definitely believe that there is more problematic players at Manchester United that do need to be moved on. I think we need to get rid of another 4 or 5 more players at least this year, definitely. But we know that a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival anyway. There's another player on Man United's agenda, and I think he's actually one of our main priority targets, and that is Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. Now, I was reading reports from Sky Sports, and this is stemming from Dean Smith, and he's convinced that Jack Grealish will not leave Aston Villa in this January transfer window. I think Jack Grealish, tries to, replicate Cristiano Ronaldo and that, but he's nowhere near, on Cristiano Ronaldo's level. Don't get me wrong, very, very good player. I think he's done well at Aston Villa. This season he has been directly involved in 14 goals in 21 games. I think in total in the Premier League he has made 53 appearances. And I think the appearances he's made in total, including the appearances he made in the Championship with Villa, he has made around 140 odd appearances. He's only at the age of 24. He's predominantly an attacking midfielder. I think he's predominantly one of them, but he can also play as a winner. So I'm not sure actually if he's predominantly an attacking mid or winner, but he obviously can play in them positions. He can play in them positions. I also do believe that Tottenham have been long admirers of Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish has got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023. I gave you the news yesterday, didn't I, regarding Gedson Fernandes. Now, reportedly, we've attracted our interest in the player. Gedson Fernandes currently plays for Benfica. Obviously, so far he has spent the majority, I should say the entirety of his career with Benfica, because, he risen up their youth system for around 9 years, and I think he's been their senior squad since 2018. Benfica, have given their overarching view on the speculation regarding Gedson Fernandes. And, I think they are determined to let him go. I don't think they're keen on getting rid of him on a permanent deal. I think they did say that they want to loan him out for around 18 months with an option to buy, not an obligation to buy, with an option to buy in that. He has got a release clause of around £102 million. I don't think any club will be determined to pay that, because, he's obviously, he's missed a lot of games this season so far for Benfica, and that. It confirmed yesterday from Sky Sports that his representatives were in the UK and was negotiating with around 4 Premier League clubs, because the player's preference is a move to the Premier League. This is what it said. I think it did actually say West Ham emerged as the favourites to get him. West Ham have actually been in talks. They've been in talks, over, getting, Gedson Fernandes in. He's actually, primarily, I think he's predominantly a central midfielder, but he is only at the age of 20. So he's another player on our current agenda and that. Obviously, James Maddison is another one. Allegedly, we've been in for James Maddison since June of last year, and that, I think, last summer, we was tentatively linked to him. So what I mean in that aspect is, he wasn't one of our main priority targets, but I think now we've identified him as one of our top targets, James Maddison. James Maddison, of course, I think would be a good adequate replacement for Paul Pogba and that. Predominantly an attacking mid, but he can also play on the left, because he's played on the left quite a lot of times since Brendan Rodgers got recommended in at Leicester. Brendan Rodgers is now nearly been at Leicester a full year, because he got recommended in February last year. But you've got to admire what he's done, because Leicester have really rejuvenated themselves, since he took over. James Maddison's only into his second season with Leicester. I think he's replicating this season what he did last season in his debut season with Leicester, because last season he created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. And he's in total for Leicester, he has made 60 appearances in all competitions. 56 of his appearances have come in the Premier League. Around four of his appearances have come in the League Cup. And he is only at the age of 23. Leicester only paid, £20 million from Norwich in the summer of 2018 and that. So these players I've just said to you, I think, the vast majority of them, or if not all of them, would be the right calibre players for Manchester United, definitely. So that's some transfer news to give you guys a current update on. But if we don't make any signings in this January transfer window, I will be really infuriated. But there again, when you're not in Champions League football, obviously it's going to be harder to attract players to the elite level and that. But, don't forget, the league's a priority for us, because, we need to get that top 4 this season. I did initially confirm at the start of this season that our expectations this season will be to finish in that top 4. I think our aspirations will be that top 4 anyway in the next couple of seasons, because, we're not going to win the league. We're not even going to mount any kind of title challenge up for several years, because obviously, analysing it at the moment, City strides ahead of us, Liverpool are strides ahead of us in that, and Solskjaer is aware, that we're not in that commanding position, that we currently should be in that, but we are still in that top 4 race, despite the fact that, we lost to Arsenal by 2-0 recently. We are sitting, around 5 points behind Chelsea, but there's quite a few teams in that race for that top 4 and that. But that's one of our ambitions, is that top 4. We've got a chance of getting some silverware on the board this season. We could win the Carabao Cup. I think if we can beat Man City, then we can win the Carabao Cup. But I think that's our only chance of getting any silverware on the board this season. There again, we have got a chance of winning the Europa League, because we are into knockout stages of the competition. We won Group L, and plus, that's another route to Champions League football and that. But I did initially say, didn't I, at the start of this season, that I expected us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season, because last season was a huge disappointment. We finished 6th last season, and I think that's actually the lowest we finished in the Premier League here, or is it 7th, if I can't remember rightly. But like I've said, we're enjoying a worse season this season so far to this stage than what we saw last season, because we are enjoying our worst start to a Premier League season for around 30 years. So, reflecting on that, for the vast majority of this season, Solskjaer has been under intense pressure at the football club. But this is the thing I don't understand, We've done really, really well against elite opposition this season. Like I said, we're beating Chelsea at the beginning of the season 4-0. We're beating Leicester at home. We drew with Liverpool. We're the only team this season to take many points from them. We're beating Tottenham and Man City. You can say them 2 games saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the football club. Because if we hadn't beaten any of them, I think he probably would have been sacked by now. But I've got to say, probably the City game is probably the best game so far during Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the football club and that. And I think, the only reason we've stuck by him until this point is because obviously, he's a club legend and that, and in that aspect we've softened our stance. But I think, disregarding him being a club legend, I think, Solskjaer would have been sacked by now from the football club. From the football club, but like I said, what we've done against elite opposition this season, we haven't replicated that against lower opposition, mainly. But, like I said, we've had some good periods this season. In some games, a lot of aspects of our game have seemed to improve, where we've created more chances, we've scored more goals, we've seemed to have that clinical element, certain players have rejuvenated themselves. And like I said, I've been very, very impressed. Like Rashford, for the vast majority of this season, he's been good. Martial's been good. You can say he adds more inspiration in that attack of third in the pitch. Rashford and Martial are now they're both now nearly on 200 appearances for the football club in all competitions. You've got Martial, that's into his 5th season at Manchester United, and you've got Rashford, that's been a United player since the age of 7. So far to this point, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with the club, and he's been in the senior squad since 2016 and that. I thought Martial and Rashford were bad against Arsenal. Daniel James has enjoyed them a fantastic start to his Man United career. I've got to say, I've been impressed with McTominay this season in that midfield. So it's a shame that McTominay is out until February. I've been very impressed with Bissaka at right back. I think he's been absolutely immense for us. I think he's a kind of right back, that we can rely on for the next decade at least. And I've been very, very impressed there with Harry Maguire, because I think Lindelof and Harry Maguire have blended in very, very well together in our back line. So quite a lot of players have seemed to rejuvenate themselves definitely in that. But like I've said to you, whether Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the football club works out or not, we'll never forget, what he has done for the football club, because he did enjoy a good 11 years at Man United as a player. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. But like I've said time and time again, I think Solskjaer as a manager is totally comparison to how he was as a player, and that he hasn't really got that pedigree behind him in terms of management. He managed a few clubs before he came to Man United. Obviously he managed Mould, won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould. obviously before that he was at Cardiff. And he also had a terrible record at Cardiff. I think he only managed around 28 or 29 games to them. But the reason he got sacked by Cardiff is because he ended up, getting Cardiff relegated. And there was some Man United fans earlier on this season, thinking that, he could actually, replicate Man United, what he did do with Cardiff. But we know that obviously, Man United are not going to get relegated and that. But, But, like I've said to you, there's some aspects of me, that do credit Solskjaer and that. Like I said, when he, at the start of this season, he confirmed, that all the youngsters would get given their opportunities. And to be fair, the youngsters have been given their opportunities and that. So he does actually, rely on the kids a bit too much. I think in some games he's tactically got it spot on, but I think in the vast majority of our games this season we've been tactically naive, so that's an element of concern. I think, the style of play, the only style of play we seem to have under Solskjaer is counter-attacking football. He doesn't really have a plan B, so you can say that's an element of concern. You can say that's definitely an element of concern in that, and but yeah, we will see what happens. But he'll still be here this month. He'll still be here at the end of the season. So we're just going to basically have to see who else he can recommend in to the football club. But like I've said on my recent videos, not all the blame stems from him. I think everyone needs to take responsibility. I think we need to get rid of our Kevin board, because I think the vast majority of the blame stems from them. We need to get rid of Ed Woodward. We need to get rid of the Glazers. Like I've said, we need to, get rid of the coaching staff. And, we should have got a director of football in last summer, because I said that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club and all that. But like I said, we're in a transition period. Solskjaer's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. And he says, he thinks 2020, will be a successful year for Man United and that, because the vast majority of last year we was so inconsistent, and obviously we've got to find that consistency to keep our hopes up for that top four. But Solskjaer, of course, now has been here over the year, and he's been permanent manager now nearly for around 10 months. So take that into account as well. We've got a big game this evening against Wolves, and like I said on my preview and that, it's going to be a very, very tough game. Solskjaer, I think, is going to rest some key players, because he knows Man City's on the horizon in the Carabao Cup. He's confirmed, obviously, Sergio Romero's going to start against Wolves. Obviously, there's no Paul Pogba, there's, no McTominay in that. So he will rest some key players, as you all know. Martial and Jesse Lingard are ill. But like I've said to you, Molineu's been a fortress to us in recent years. Wolves are unbeaten against us in their last 4 games, and Wolves are a well-organised team, good players, good manager and that. But I think, Wolves could beat us, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But Wolves' record against the top 6 sides is absolutely fantastic. But this is our 4th visit to Molineux in 10 months. But Solskjaer has not yet won against Wolves as a manager, so this is something he does need to achieve tonight by getting a win against Wolves. We'll be on with the match reaction. It may be after the game. If it isn't tonight, it will be tomorrow morning. I will be giving you my match reaction. So anyway, guys, that's all your latest transfer news and everything else. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.